So you don't really know a business with 6 to 12 months experience with them. You really need to be down in the nitty-gritty of my first experience of the built environment was this kind of project, and both my parents absolutely love building. As someone who's moved to another city by themselves, it's a huge adventure. When you do it on your own, it's extremely challenging. Only then did I realize how much support's actually given to the graduate program.
Welcome to the People and Property equals Progress podcast, brought to you by Lambeth Smith Hampton. Here we go beyond the bricks and mortar and take a deep dive into the fascinating stories behind the business. What makes LSH unique isn't the property market that they operate in, it's the people that drive it forward. The breadth and diversity, the imagination and the ambition of their people. Every episode, we'll sit down with an inspiring guest and they'll share their journey, their vision and their passion. So let's get started. Okay, very excited to say that I am joined by Nic Frankenfeld. Tell me what you do at LSH, why you're passionate about it and what it means to you.
Cool, thanks so much for having me. I work in the corporate advisory services team in London. We're the people that work with businesses that occupy property rather than own it. Basically, our job is to help these businesses that are our clients to align their property portfolio with their corporate strategy. Basically looking to help them maximize cost efficiencies to keep rents down, keep costs down, keep their employees happy. That's obviously really important. Employee well-being is great. And then just generally helping them to be in the right place at the right time with their portfolio.
Is that really challenging in this market when you can't control rent and it's forever going up and you've got long leases, but there's a lot of external factors?
It is challenging. I think it's more setting expectations early is the more difficult part, because internally all these clients that we work with, they have their own budgets that are set by people that may not appreciate the property that they occupy. So when a rent review comes and your rent increases by 30% and they're like, oh, 30%, that's huge. But if you understand it and you can hold them through, hold their hand through the budgeting process, it does help with that expectation being set. So that's what we try to do.
What's the biggest property that you place a company in London?
So my clients that I work with personally aren't extremely London-centric. So I work with clients across different sectors, and our team works across all different sectors of the country. So one of my clients occupies multiple units in a big industrial park in Shoulderditch. So that was a big one that we're involved in. What our function is as a team, we also work as a bit of an internal client. So we outsource the services of our specialist teams to help us with those really big decisions. Some people
so you know what you know and you pass on what you don't.
Exactly. So we're like
Very
the jack
good
of all
leadership.
trades, but not master of none, just kind of just jack of all trades. You keep it like that. So.
And what's the best part of your job?
I really like the flexibility that I'm awarded. I think it's very team-centric, as it would be at any business. But my team and the management in my team encourage flexibility. So they kind of say to me, we trust you to do what you think is best to make your client as happy as possible.
Yeah.
So
Does that mean client entertaining?
Every now and again, it's difficult. Some clients are more receptive to entertainment than others. Some are not allowed to because of kind of gift receipts, which is really hard work. I look at some of the other teams and they're out all the time. So I'm slightly less of a social butterfly. I try to be, but forming relationships with our clients is kind of the priority. So
because it's a long role. You're going to have longevity.
Exactly. So I mean, our team, I don't know the statistics, but I would be fairly confident in the fact that our team has the longest kind of employment time in, like, as our employees within the business. Multiple people working at the company for over a decade, some over 2. Equally, we have clients that we've worked with for that long. So we've got various clients that 20-year, 25-year relationships, and that's what we thrive off of.
Of course, they're not moving. They're
exactly.
happy.
And also, you don't really know a business with 6 to 12 months experience with them. You really need to be down in the nitty-gritty of what they get up to for a long period of time before you can actually help provide value.
How did you help businesses survive COVID and the kind of work from home?
So I wasn't working in the UK at the time.
Okay.
So my frame of reference actually was from residential block management back in South Africa, which is where I'm from. So it was slightly different then. I think one constant is the fact that expectations, like I said in the beginning, just setting expectations. A lot of tenants, because obviously my clients now were those tenants, were unable to pay their rents. And the disputes that you go through with your landlords, that is extremely contentious. So it was a lot of communication trying to diffuse the tension, but it was such an uncertain time for everyone.
Also, there's no playbook for that.
Exactly.
It had never happened before. It was like, right, we've got to create
never will happen
something.
Again as well. So in my role at the time, it was because everyone had moved back into the residential blocks. They're now noticing all the small defects. So it was actually extremely busy. And I think our industry wasn't one of those that had a massive downtick in time spent on work, which is a good thing, I guess, when the world's going through a pandemic, that you're actually busy occupying yourself with things, but better or worse.
Nic, what are the cultural differences of working in your sector in South Africa compared to here in the UK? Other than that you love rugby and the UK loves football.
I think that's a constant. I think the Brits love their
we
rugby
do,
too.
we do.
You know, we're not going to talk about scores or results or anything like
No,
that. But,
well, we should. No.
I think as countries, I don't want to compare the whole of the UK to South Africa because I only grew up in Cape Town, which is a very different city to the rest of the country. It's a very slow, relaxed city.
Yeah.
Whereas now I've moved to London, which is the complete polar opposite. So
Right.
London is at 1,000 miles an hour, which I've loved.
We just drink more coffee.
Way more coffee, and it's just everything. The people, I'm not a fast walker. I walk really slowly.
Head down much.
But now when I see my family back home or I see other South Africans, they think that I move quickly. And whenever I'm with colleagues or clients here, they're like, please walk faster. And I think I'm gunning it. I'm really going, but it's just like 1,000 knots at all times.
I've never thought about that, but you see that everyone's got everyone's on a mission.
Yeah.
We are on a mission.
Yeah.
Going somewhere. Probably getting lost a lot of the time.
A lot of the time. I think it's the one thing that I've definitely noticed that the interactions with the average person on the street is a lot less here. So in London, everyone's got headphones in. Like you say, you're on a mission to get where you want to go. Whereas in Cape Town, it's very common it's a small city, so you bump into someone you know everywhere you go. But then people are actually willing to stop and have a conversation, which...
I'm the anomaly to that. I love making eye contact at the tube and trying to challenge that someone will talk back to me.
I like it though. I think we should be challenging people to do that. Because...
You know, in the London Olympics, that happened everywhere. Everyone talked to everyone. You would be on the train. Everyone had something to bring in the community.
I love that.
And it's such a big community together. And then it was like, right, this is it. We've become friendly. Londoners are friendly. And then the Olympics ended and it's like,
back to
no,
normal.
we don't like people.
As long as you're good hosts, that's important. You know, so then the rest of the world can have that experience for while they're there.
Yeah,
so that's
exactly.
great.
Right, I'm going to bring it back to why we're here. And it's to talk about personal or professional relationships with the bricks and the mortar around us. So I'm going to start with, what's your favourite place or building?
My answers are going to shift between local and foreign. I would say my favourite building, and I'm basing it on my time in London, I would say is Tower Bridge. As someone who's moved to another city by themselves, it's a huge adventure. And I've actually recently just moved, so when I can go for a walk along the Thames path, I'm very lucky that I'm now in central London. I see that bridge almost every day now, and it's a constant reminder of like, you know, you've taken a huge step, you've done something, and I'm lucky that it's worked quite nicely for me. I've made this my home. I'm really happy here. So I would say that it's a reminder of...
Have you been here long enough to have seen at night time a few years ago? I'm not sure it was completely legal, but it has been out in the news since. But there was a guy on the motorbike who went over it whilst it was open. No. Were you here then? You've got to YouTube this clip.
Goodness
it was
me.
amazing.
I wish I was around for that.
It was so cool.
Like
and people were all like on the boats down by watching it. And I was in the city that day and I didn't know it was happening. But it was a Red Bull event. And they literally, it's incredible.
Oh, wow. I mean, it very well could have happened and I just completely missed it.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it was probably like 2 a.m. in the morning. So you were probably,
I'm early bed.
You had to go to sleep early so you could walk quicker the next day.
Exactly.
I like Tower Bridge. I think Tower Bridge is an incredible building infrastructure because it does something as well.
Yeah, it's
it's
not
mechanical.
Just a visual. And
you can go up
beautiful.
into it, can't you?
You can. I haven't myself.
No, neither.
Which, I mean, I probably should have seen that I chose it as my
answer. Well, there we go. Nice
Maybe that's
to-do
what I'll
list
do
to
this
have.
weekend.
There we go.
To do. But I agree that the fact that it's functional and aesthetically pleasing, it's kind of a nice. It's a nice building.
I mean, that
to think
whole
of
view. You've got the Tower of London there, and it like melts into it, doesn't it?
Yeah,
like
the Shah, the London
going.
Eye. It's basically the tourist snapshot that I look at every morning, and I love that. So
yeah, that's great. I mean, there's
nice
a reason
to
people like that view.
And be like, I made it. I'm here.
Yeah, this looks different from Cape Town. It's different. Okay, and what about a place or a building that's changed your life?
The building that I would choose, I would say it has to be my family home back in Cape Town. We've been living there for almost 20 years now. My family has, and it was actually designed and built by my dad, who's an architect.
No.
So it was kind of my first experience of the built environment was this kind of project, and both my parents absolutely love building. Since the day that we built that house, they're looking to build the next one.
Okay.
They haven't yet. They're desperate to do so.
So did they build it to be a family home, or did they build it as an investment to then find another?
No, to be the family home that they wanted to raise their kids in, and it's a beautiful home. I mean, shout out to my dad.
Yeah, amazing.
Was
he old school architect? Did he make it with, do the model beforehand? I love architectural models.
Yeah, so
which don't happen now.
He definitely, even nowadays still would rather use pen and paper than the digitalized, CAD drawings and all of that. I can't say at the time, it was a long time ago for me. I can't really remember. I just remember kind of with our dog running through the building site, which probably wouldn't have been allowed in the UK for health and safety reasons. It was just kind of this like exciting time for all of us, and that whenever I go back home to Cape Town now, it's a really happy place to be in. Lots of greenery.
Did he take any risk with it? Does it fit into the natural surroundings, or is it quite unique?
It definitely suits the surroundings that it forms part of. There's one of the unique things in Cape Town specifically is that there is a lot of space, whereas in London, space is at a premium, whereas there is a lot, well, at least back then was a lot more space available. So the house, it really fits nicely into it. It's got a nice big garden that rolls into the house, and kind of the aesthetics of all that play into lots of glass. Only single glazed windows are needed there because it's so
gosh.
hot.
Wow,
so,
what a novelty.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. Do take it for granted sometimes, but yeah, it's a very special place.
Do you miss it, or because you're so urbanized and with that view you've got here, is it so contrasting that you can't even compare the two?
Yeah, it's completely different lifestyles. To answer the question, do I miss it? I miss the interactions that the house reminds me of. So like sitting on the weekend, having family over every Sunday. My family are like famous among my friend group for having Sunday dinners, that all our friends that maybe were from overseas during uni, they would all come to our house, and that would be our thing, that every Sunday, doesn't matter where you've been for the week, you're going to come back on a Sunday. So I think it's more the memories that are associated with the place and the place itself that are really special. Like I said, I'm very happy in London, and I've made
Is there
this my home,
South African community in London that you can find and have that roast with on Sundays? Make it home.
There
from
are
home?
a lot of South Africans in the UK journey, but London in particular. If you go to any part of southwest London, you will find plenty. And it's South Africans, Aussies, Kiwis, Argentinians. The southern hemisphere just goes to southwest London. I've never lived in the southwest, but
But if you feel lonely, you head back there.
And all my I'm lucky that I have quite a few friends from school and university that live here too. So I've been able to kind of continue that trend. So there's no sitting alone watching the rugby.
You can go and stroll slowly through southwest London with
but
them.
then I'll be normal pace. Everyone there's the same. So
yeah, exactly. What about a building, place or city that you've seen on your journeys, or it doesn't even have to be real, that you want to transform, and why do you want to transform it?
I think it's another South African location, and I think one of the things that, I don't know if you've ever traveled to South Africa before, but one of the things that does strike you is the level of poverty that you see there. You get kind of numb to it when you live there your whole life. Having moved here and then going back, you really do notice that disparity. I think the place that I would want to transform, it's kind of a bracket answer, but it would be the townships that are localized just outside of the main city centres. Those areas could do with a lot of infrastructure. The government there does have plans for, affordable housing schemes and those kind of things, but there's a lot that needs to be done to, without getting into the political history that is, extremely difficult to circumnavigate. Just the livelihood of the people that live there, it's tough for them.
And do you feel like that could change without a huge amount of, is it just someone actually thinking about what the people there need?
Yeah, I think, the biggest problem, and it's the same with any city, place, location, it's investment, and it's having the funds available to be able to execute that vision. So I'm sure that there are many wonderful people that are trying their best to make things happen, but especially within a country which has so many.
But it has that juxtaposition because it has extreme poverty and extreme wealth, and that is challenging. I always find when you travel and you see that, it makes you feel quite uncomfortable that there's these people here who have nothing, living, breathing right next to these people who have indulgences and luxury.
It is really difficult, and I think, like I said, going back, I've noticed it even more. I don't know if it's maybe because you don't see it as much in London, but it definitely is something. I think one of the things that makes it difficult in Cape Town specifically is that the township area is located slightly outside of the city centre. So when you fly in and you see the Table Mountain, you go to all of that. The township is located between the airport and the city centre. So once you're into the city, it's very easy
to isolate yourself. You don't see it again.
So from a tourism point of view, for a tourist, you think, that's, I guess, nice from a safety element or things like that, that you don't have to worry about it as much. But because there is that distance between the main, CBD and that area, it can be out of sight, out of mind. So, I'm not the one, I don't have the solution, but it is something that if I had the magic paintbrush to do it, and I think it would improve not just the livelihood of the people, it would prop up the economy. It would, it would help move towards the direction of solving that, wealth inequality.
Well, and I think it would bring even more tourism because Cape Town's unbelievably beautiful, but people are put off because of the safety angle. But that is just desperate people resorting to desperate measures.
Yeah,
and
unfortunately,
if you can
that is the case.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I would love to think that I have the ability
I know,
to.
but
Maybe
this is a fantasy chat.
Yeah, maybe one day that
Yeah.
could be something that I could do.
Okay.
Who knows? I would love to think that that is possible, but whether it's me or someone else, that would be great to be able to do that.
Again, talking about the backbone of LSH, it's definitely the people who make it. I've sat here all day speaking to fascinating people, so many individuals with different stories to tell. Is there anyone in your team or who you maybe don't have direct contact with who is your bright spark, who's someone you can lean on or who just builds you up when you're trying to challenge yourself through these adverse conditions that you work in?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more so my team, it really is amazing. And I'm sure you have people saying generic things. I don't really want to name anyone in particular. My team environment that has been created by everyone that's in it it's really, I don't want to say it's loving, but it is.
That's
it's
okay.
a very
You can
loving
say that,
environment.
yeah.
Everyone's extremely friendly. And I think it also, it's catered towards that by the fact that the team's been together for such a long period of time. I mean, a lot of my colleagues started working as grads at the company 20 years ago. So they've grown up, their professional and personal lives, they've had kids, they've gone to each other's weddings. And that environment, like when I stepped into the team just over 3 years ago, it was the first thing I noticed that was vastly different to anything that I'd experienced before. That there was no small talk. It was just, not that everyone's having deep conversations, just everyone's so comfortable with each other. And because of that, from a professional standpoint, it's allowed me to feel extremely comfortable to go and ask all the various people. It's quite a vast variety of knowledge that has been gathered with over that period of time. So yeah,
I mean, a recurring thread is that this graduate scheme that LSH put in place is incredibly successful.
Yeah.
And now they've got the apprenticeship scheme to try and get people to, put their toe into the industry and realise that actually there's so many depths and facets to it.
And I think I didn't go through a graduate program when I started working, and I sat my APC for the second time in the UK when I moved to LSH. Only then did I realise how much support's actually given to the graduate program. When you do it on your own, it's extremely challenging, not just for the fact that there's so much content to cover, but you don't have someone who can actually guide you properly. So the fact that LSH have a graduate program and apprenticeship program where you have people that their designated role is to support you, it's actually, like, I don't think, if you don't know anything different, I think people can take it for granted. So from my experience of having no one to support and then just someone to kind of help push me across the finish line, game changer. I went into my APC, my professional exam, so confident. When the first time I shouldn't have sat.
We have to push ourselves out of comfort zone.
That's true. That's true.
We have to look beyond the obvious. That's something that LSH like as well. Challenge yourself.
Indeed.
Yeah.
But I think it was more the fact that I was so ill prepared that I needed someone to be like, listen, you should actually take some shots.
Right, okay. But what's nice now, Nick, is that you will be that mentor for the next graduate, the next apprentice coming in, and that's what it seems like. It seems like this family. I've spoken to 2 people whose parents both also work at LSH today, and it's just, wow, this life circle of support and family and people caring about people is really resonating.
I think our industry does have a lot of that kind of cyclical nature of parents to their children coming into the industry. Which
your dad was an architect, so got you into interest in buildings.
Yeah, but although he did say do not become an architect, be the guy that pays the architect to do the job.
Well, see, my dad was a chartered surveyor and I became a ski racer, so
I think
That's
exactly what you should do. Go against the grain. I like that. That's definitely challenging.
Ironically,
more than
my son loves to build. His passion is creating projects out of cardboard.
Okay. Well, maybe he'll become a race car driver then.
Yeah, there we go.
Completely turn the corner on its head.
Well, Nick, thank you so much for being with us today and talking to us. It's fascinating.
Thank you. It's been awesome. Really enjoyed chatting to you.
Thank you.